this because Eitan Baruch has some good posts here that I have to look up, honestly, about, I think he talked about that Beit Shammai, they were of the opinion that they would save everyone, even an animal. Like for some reason, most people didn't even quote Beit Shammai, with the exception, I think, of, is it 14 places where they supposedly compromised. The idea, by the way, that we go by Beit Hillel versus Beit Shammai, it's not in the Mishnah. It's an idea proposed by Amoraim. Judaism became split by that time, right? And like the last era of what they call the Zugos, right? The pairs. The reason they had two heads of the Sanhedrin is really because there was a split. I mean, Herod endorsed one over the other, and there had to be like an Av Beis Din and the Nasi. So this is why there were two rulings, and no one really knew exactly what the final ruling was. So the Amoraim, in some way, like standardize halakha, when it was impossible to have a standard with two completely contradictory opinions, said that basically toss out everything Beit Shammai says, which we don't. There's actually more than 18. I think they mention it's like 14 or 18, but there's a lot more. Like if you go by the Rambam, and even with things that we tell converts, there's a lot of things that it's straight to Beit Shammai. Like Beit Shammai didn't believe that Gentiles get a share in the world to come. And the Rambam quotes this in Surah chapter 14, that's what we tell a convert when he comes to convert. Which means that if someone chose to go by Beit Shammai, what halacha would they really be breaking? I mean, I don't think being what's called tivrosh min hatzibor is a halacha, like not going according to the rov. That's just good advice, right? Because when there's a Sanhedrin, there's no going with the majority. I mean, there's only one Sanhedrin. I mean, there's now, yes, even during the time of Hillel and Shammai, there was one Sanhedrin, but they were occupied, so they still had a status of like a bipolar court. But it's interesting that the whole notion of this Baskol, because it says that a Baskol came to them in Yavna, but that story appears by Amoraim. It doesn't appear by Tanaim, but it says that it was Tanaim who were at Yavna when the Baskol came, like the voice from heaven, and said that we go by Hillel over Shammai. But I mean, it was very convenient that it was the students that were there predominantly.